We are now recording the October 12th, 2018 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Friday. It couldn't have gotten here.
Yeah, we need a, with Seth, he does this thing.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not there with, it's great for Seth. We need something else, I think.
Yeah, we need
like
something.
Maybe a drink, a toast.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
We're going to happy hour, which is like, what, 2:30 your time?
Yeah, I'm sure my clients will love me doing that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Oh, it's
Here, right here.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
So, first announcement, desktop time. Next, is it Thursday? Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Wednesday, right?
Thursday, yeah.
17th.
I'll be on desktop.
Wednesday. I wrote Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah. Isn't it?
The 17th. What day is the 17th?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. That's terrible. We don't know that.
That's 4 o'clock Eastern.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll be talking about my RocketBook and how I'm using that. Very excited. I just set up the destination for Trello and I'm liking it. So it'll be fun. I'll explain how I'm using that.
Mark just got the little bitty rocket one, the little bitty pocket one.
I'm using the full-size notebook and I am filling up pages every day.
Really?
Every day. Now I want to get the little one for when I'm traveling. Yeah.
Oh, you got the little one. Yeah.
I got the little one. Because when I do a yoga class, I'll write down thoughts and I just send it to my phone in case I draw a blank.
That's the beauty of it. Notebook on steroids.
So I want to know, when you fill it up,
Yes.
what do you do then?
I take a picture and send it to my drive. And what I fill it up with is tasks that I want to do today. And then my daily diary, and they never match. And when I look at them and look at those 2 pages together, I can see what's happened. And I also have little words that I use, like Sarah's squirreled, which sends me to another form. Something happens in the middle of the day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I get squirreled, and all of a sudden it's 2 hours later, and I'm coming out of this app that I've just gotten in love with.
That's never happened to me.
Never.
Oh,
But it is helping me keep focused. And the thing that I really, really like about it is the ability to start and stop quicker. Because I don't, if you're sitting, I don't know, if we sit at the desk all the time, and I'm trying to actually have my sitting working time broken up. I don't want to sit at the desk and be facing the computer for 2 hours. I get up and my joints are stiff and whatever. So if I have a project that's 2 hours long, I can break it up. I'll work a half hour, and then I can stop and do other things. I have other things right at my fingertips that'll take 5 or 10 minutes. I can do one of those little tasks and then go back to my big project and be refreshed. And it's like, it's easier to work that way instead of being intense, spending the full 2 hours doing one thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm that way.
So it's helping me get things done quicker, and I'm doing it as the to-do, doing, and done workflow.
Oh.
Once things are done, and at the end of the day, my daily diary goes up to Drive, and I wipe it clean and start clean the next day.
Oh, you've got the one that you can wipe off. Yeah.
Yep. My projects are like that too. I have tasks that I list. Once the task is done, I can wipe it off and take it off of that project list and add new things as we go. And I'm a real key. I have so many notes all over the place constantly, and I'm afraid of throwing them away. I'll need that information sometime. Mm-hmm. With the RocketBook, I don't have to worry about that because I can take a picture and send it wherever I want it to. whether it's Drive, whether it's Dropbox, there's a lot of things that integrate with it. So, and it's easier and quicker for me to have the RocketBook with me and take handwritten notes. I can write a sentence and know what I need by going back and looking at the project pages where everything are in detail.
Yeah.
So I'm not spending a lot of time opening and closing apps or going from here, going from there. The RocketBook kind of ties everything together. I'm not using any apps any less than I was before. Still using the same apps. I sit down in the morning, I have my cup of coffee, and I have my phone, and I have my Google Calendar. These are the appointments I need to keep today. That kind of thing. And now it's gotten to the point where it's 15 minutes for me. I'm done my coffee, and I have my list of tasks that I want to do today.
That's smart.
It's working. It's really, really working for me.
Does somewhat related but different, and I know that you can dictate to your phone and such, but does anybody know of a good voice recorder that does auto transcribing? And I know you can do to your phone, you can do to this or that, but I haven't had much success with those. And
have you tried one now?
Yeah, Google does. It's pretty good. It actually understands me.
Okay.
Google Note, I think.
That's the only one.
Google
Doc.
OneNote.
Oh, the dictation one?
Mm-hmm.
The challenge I have is when I'm driving, if I get ideas, especially, I'm sure it's the same everywhere, but California, that's a pretty big ticket for a Google.
Yeah, you don't want to touch anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
And
you can't go like, hey Siri, and then tell it something and then it goes somewhere.
Siri's dumb.
I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, so the car I have, it's nothing fancy, but you plug in the iPhone. I literally got this car knowing that I could put a smartphone setup onto it, plug my iPhone into it, and I can communicate, get navigation, directions, that kind of stuff, phone calls, everything all hands-free, which is minor in comparison to what you can really do. Again, my background prior to Parkway was car audio, home audio for 14 years, so I've had some pretty fun stuff in cars for some time, making it all hands-free.
Wow. That's awesome. I have the same thing in my new Subaru, but I haven't found it to work all that wonderfully well. Still a little bit buggy.
Android was not, I have a Hyundai, and when I had an Android phone, it was horrible. And I switched over to the Apple CarPlay. It was great.
Yeah, Apple CarPlay is what we have.
The problem I found, our phone system for Parkway, we use DialPad. So it's a VoIP system, kind of like Ring Central or Vonage, but we like DialPad. I haven't found any of those companies yet that have gotten on board with having a vehicle app or a car app to where you can do your steering wheel controls for calling somebody and have it actually go through the app. So what I mean by that is I do all my calls through DialPad, but on my iPhone, I have DialPad. But if I do a voice, like Siri, call this person or whatever, it's going to go off of my address book in my iPhone, not off of DialPad, which means it's also dialing from my cell phone, not my business line.
Oh, got it. And you don't want that to happen. Really.
Yeah.
Well, we have to figure this out. We could be rich.
Ernest, what you doing for the next, say,
decade?
2 months?
Well, Sara, you are trying to figure out how to compare apps.
I'm always frustrated about the best way to go.
We were talking about calendar apps. Ernest wants to know the difference between Acuity and what was the other one?
Calendly and Bookings by Microsoft.
Steve, I'm very visual, and so I can do all this research on an app and then all this research on another app, but I need them side by side. I need app, and then a wish, a cost, feature, I want must-have deal killers, love to have it, but I can do without, even rating them that way, and be able to just visually step back and go, oh yeah, that didn't do that. Oh, but that,
But the problem is this week it's
But the
one
problem
thing.
is,
Next week it's another.
next week they fix it or they add a feature.
And then another one becomes your favorite. And then you're learning everything all over again.
Well, but the thing is, this spreadsheet, it's only good. You know, it could take me 2 weeks to do one because you have to have a demo, and then you're making notes on all the, you know, all the cool features and everything, and then you go, oh, it does that. Now I got to get another demo from the one I already had because I didn't ask them. I wonder if they do that, you know? So it's that real granular feature and flow, user. I want things like, you know, how intuitive is it?
Well, that's the problem also, because when you're reviewing an app like that, how do you know how easy it is to use? And easy to use is subjective. What's easy for one person could be total torture for another because they think a different way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We stopped suggesting project management softwares to clients because of exactly that.
Yeah, if it was a full-time job, doing nothing but keeping up with software. So that could be a job, but how do you monetize that? How do you, in what platform do you, a database, a wiki, spreadsheets, you almost want to have conversations on, on features.
And you have to have people's comments on it.
Yeah.
Because some people will find it exceedingly easy and some people just don't get it.
Right. So you've got app dot whatever, and there's a lot of programs out there that are really starting. I mean, they're really helpful as far as listening. Pros and cons. I like the pros and cons. Because people who really use it will go. They'll just mention a pain point, and you go, oh. You know what else is nice? Are the programs that have where you vote for a feature.
Oh, absolutely.
If you want to know what a program doesn't do, go to one of those.
And look at what the votes are, right?
Mm-hmm. And you go, it doesn't do that. So, because all you get from salespeople and websites is the best of the best. So,
hey, Brandon.
Hi, Brandon. Cool
Brandon.
On the road again.
On the road. I'm headed back to the island. I got out of the office early.
You got out early, so how did you survive? When was it? Wednesday when the storm hit you guys?
Yeah, so Tuesday night, it actually didn't hit us. So Tuesday night I went to bed. I said, in the morning, well, look at the weather. If that thing hadn't taken a right, I'm leaving. And it took a right and went over Florida instead of hitting Alabama.
But you still got the storm surge, didn't you?
A little bit of storm surge. So we got a little bit of flooding on the west end. But it didn't affect us at all, just the west end of the island.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I can't complain.
Who haven't we heard from? What side of Florida does Judy McCarthy live on?
What's that?
I don't know. I just know she's in Florida.
We should do a U.S. map of common people, because I have to tell
Brandon
you,
has one of those. He has
He
one
does
of those
for all,
for
yeah.
accounting success people. Really cool.
Yeah.
Things where all of them are in the U.S.
How do you do that, by the way?
I use BatchGeo, BATCHGEO.com.
You just feed in our addresses and it does these little pins. That's pretty cool.
Yes, I can copy and paste out of Excel. I just drop it in there, and then it will. There's lots of different options, but it's pretty easy. But don't spread the word. It looks complicated. It's just not.
Well, that's what I thought. Maybe Matt had some cute little program that made that Pac-Man screen.
no, it was just called a lot of hard work.
I think Erica Ed is sad that she's not in it.
I actually, so when I was first going to do the thing, I was trying to figure out how to do the different ghosts. And I thought about putting different people's faces there, but I didn't want to either offend by using their face as a ghost or by not putting them on it.
Hey, I'm Irish and really white, though. Wouldn't hurt me. Wouldn't hurt my feelings at all.
We've got a couple weeks, but I've got something even better planned.
For Halloween?
No, indirectly, it's kind of turned into this thing with Seth. Like I keep trying to do different green screen things every time, like at the beginning of his show. So these random ideas of how to become a smart aleck pop into my head, and I'm like, I'm going to use that on Seth. So I've got another pretty good one in mind. I just need a little bit of time to put into place. Linda,
Awesome.
You're going to be helping me.
He loves it, though. You can tell he loves it. He loved the one today. He really loved the one today. It was really good, though.
Do you have it available? You want to show it real quick?
Yeah, sure. Let me do a share screen here. I've got a couple things. You should be seeing my screen by now.
Yep.
But
Okay.
what you should be seeing is,
What calendar do you use, my friend?
so this is bookings. I actually use Acuity,
Okay.
what I use the most, because I like the ability to do, there's so much you can do scheduling wise. The biggest part of it for Acuity is the follow-up emails, the reminders
Okay.
going out to people is huge. So
Nice.
if I come into here, I'm very kind of impromptu, but if I go to appointment types, right, I've got different scheduled things, whether it's a remote meeting or it's an in-person meeting. If I'm doing an in-person meeting, well, the email that goes out right away has to be different because it has to give our address. We'll usually put like a map into it as well. And then we can have follow-up email settings for it to where it does reminders automatically,
Nice.
hyperlinks into it. So it feeds them more information right off the bat. This is probably the biggest reason I like Acuity over even Calendly. Calendly, you can do a lot of the same concepts. Both of them we do a paid, so you'd have to do a paid subscription for, but there's just, Acuity just expands more. It's got good add-ons to where integrations wise, I could set up and do online courses and charge people for it.
Wow.
When people book appointments with me through Acuity, it automatically adds them to our MailChimp. I'm a big Zapier fan, so we can do all kinds of cool stuff with Zapier with this as well. I track it through my Google Analytics, which kind of a weird thing, but I like to see how many people are using it. There's just so much stuff that can be done with Acuity, and it keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Nice.
Calendly,
Acuity, I use it every day.
yeah. I've been using Calendly for a while as well. I don't do the paid version, so it's not a true fair comparison because I'm not getting all the features out of it. I started using Calendly at first because I liked the look of their calendar better than Acuity, and then Acuity updated the look and it became so much nicer.
Your case in point, Sarah. You get used to something, you love something, and you use it because of one thing, and then something else happens, and life changes.
Yeah. I found the ability to embed, there's more functionality with Acuity than there is with Calendly. What I mean by that is the ability of either doing just a button, a full top bar, or a complete calendar embedded into my website.
Wow.
With Acuity, I can do more of that stuff. You can do questions. There's a lot of the same similarities between the two of them, but I think Acuity's done a bigger job, and I haven't paid the money for Calendly to get those extra features to check it out. So I'm biased on that side. Bookings is just changing actually a bit. It looks like they're kind of stepping it up a notch, so I may not be as familiar with this one. Bookings is part of Microsoft Office's Office 365 plan. It started off on the lower level plan only, like an E3 plan or something like that, which is like $12 per month per user. And they've continued to expand it. What's nice with the bookings, and actually with all three of them, if you're like Linda and let's say you're teaching yoga, you could actually set up classes and you could have people subscribe to a class and they could pay you for it. You could do all that stuff through bookings as well. I'm having a tougher time with, I don't like their CRM with Microsoft. Like the ability to pull the people's information in and use it other ways inside of my company, that's where I have some difficulty with it. I also found it difficult for like on the booking page, if I can try to pull up an example, me and my business partner, we're both under one Acuity, but I've been able to set up, we have our own separate calendars. The emails that go out individually between them, it took a while to set it all up. I use Zoom. He uses Uber Conference. So I have to make sure that the information getting to different people on different things are accurate. When I looked at bookings before with Microsoft, it just wasn't there. It wasn't able to do it. I would look at it again to see if maybe it's a little bit better. I mean, I like that the nice thing is it goes on the calendar, but so does Acuity and Calendly. You know, they push into it. They read off of the calendar as it is anyways, right? So that's a really kind of impromptu showing of all three.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We kind of squirreled you and got you off of the fan.
Well, he was going, he did that in PowerPoint?
I know, huh?
So the reason I like PowerPoint is it gives you the ability to create, it's like a portfolio of a project, right?
PowerPoint.
I can come in and I can start off with something basic and I can just keep adding on new slides every single time if I want to. And if I need to add extra parts in, I literally, let me pull up the selection panel here. These are all the different pieces that went into creating all of that. A lot. So
A long time, I bet.
what I did is I literally started with one of his logos.
Is being Seth David.
Right.
Okay. And then I go back, copied it, and I found a very basic like Pac-Man image to begin with online.
Yeah.
And I copied over all of it, put in new like placeholders.
I see what
guys.
you did.
But like, if you look,
Oh,
just
underneath is the real image.
Yeah. So if I click on this, I'm going to choose picture one because I know it's what I want. Control C for copy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a new slide, go blank. And you'll notice this is really small right now. I'm pasting in. For me to be able to do this the way I wanted, I actually made the slide like stupid large. So that way when I had my little dot things, they could be more manageable and still look good. And then I just messed with the canvas in a different light, if you will. So this is what I started with.
Okay, so because the whole thing with the blue and all, I was like, what on earth? Okay. And then you just started.
Yeah, I'm colorblind, so if it wasn't for eyedroppers, I wouldn't have a clue what color I chose in most of the time. So if I ever, like, you ever see something like, why'd they choose that color?
Mm-hmm.
My bad. I really
We'll
don't know.
help you out, Matt. We'll let you know.
Thank you. But what's neat is when you're doing this stuff, the second best tool is you come in and you do your snipping tool. Okay, so on Windows, if you come down to Windows accessories, you can choose snipping tool. And I know they have some like this in PowerPoint, but it doesn't work the same way because it'll take away from it. I can click new, and if I need to take this, I just go like that, right click, copy, and usually I would do it for something bigger. New blank slide, paste it in, boom. Now, if I need to do something else with that, I've got a different layer and I can mess with parts of it. So when you look through here on the side, you're going to notice here's like one of my things where I was working on stuff.
Yeah, you're playing with it. Mm-hmm.
You can't see him, but I was putting on eyelashes. Having to play with transparency is another, like, one of the hardest things to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever get pictures, you want to get PNG, you do not want it to have a colored background to it at all.
Right.
Otherwise, always look at it this way. You never know what your logo or your image, what color it's going to go on behind it.
That's true.
If you get something that's truly transparent, like this vendor sync, right?
Yeah.
Or this logo is. Control copy real quick. I started just doing it in the new slide because it's faster, I thought. And depending, it's kind of like Excel where you can do paste values or paste whatever. You can keep formatting. This logo, I can go bigger, which looks horrible right now.
Yeah.
But if I format my background, you're going to see that I can change the color here in a second, and it won't matter. But if it was white and I try to remove the background, you'll see these like white flare-outs that come off of all the edges all the time that look horrible. So I've found that using PowerPoint, it makes it a lot easier to go through this. Linda and I do a lot of videos for the QuickBooks community, qbcommunity.com basically, and we started putting cover pages like for your videos and such. So I do all of that stuff in PowerPoint because I can come in and I can just take this section with the words, and once I've got it structured the way I want it, right, I can change the words. I take my favorite little snipping tool. I come corner to corner.
Make an image out of it.
Take an image, exactly. Control copy, new slide, blank, paste, picture tool, give it some back feel to it. Boom.
Nice.
Now, have you played with the snipping tool from the Microsoft store? There's a Microsoft
What?
snipping tool. It's actually it's got some more features than the installed one.
Oh, this is why I love doing this kind of stuff.
Look at snipping tool. It's like I said, it is Microsoft. It's provided by Microsoft. It's not a third party.
Okay,
That's different than the one that came with
the shiny squirrel, and I'm going to in a little bit. But thank you for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, because you can actually. I have it in on my screen, and it'll sit in like the upper. You can decide where you want it to sit on the screen, the little toolbar, and it'll hide itself, and so you can just go up and grab it and snip, and it's pretty helpful.
Because I bought that Snagit, and yeah, that works, but there's so many clicks. It was just like just to do the simplest thing. And so I have this little program that I bought years ago called Screenshot 8. I think I paid $5 for it, and I've used it and it's just so much something. They're like, why'd you buy Snagit? But I'd like to see that little thing.
If you're using more than a print key to get Snagit, you're wrong.
Well, so the reason I like, I actually use
But I like to highlight what I want. I highlight.
Yeah. I mean, and there's so many different programs to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of like user guides, right? So for Vendor Sync, I've been building out Zendesk and getting more information built out, the language and this and that, and tutorials and guides. So there's some programs that do a great job with that, But I found that this one tool, if it's always here, it works whether I'm on a website, whether I could be in QuickBooks Desktop and I can grab something real quick if I want, right? And just boom, 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 good to go. You can time it as well. I mean, such a simple tool, but it does so much. There are times, how many times have you wanted to grab a screenshot, right? But if you do it, you need to click a button first, right?
Right, and then it'll disappear when you go to get the screenshot.
Yep. So for example, I'm going to try to do, I'll go new just so that goes away.
Right?
I hit escape, but I want to be able to show this drop down in a second.
Right.
Well, if I want to show that all just like that, as soon as I click on my thing to open it up, it's going to go away. So if I give myself a 3-second delay and I go new, banking, bank feeds, boom. Now it starts.
That's awesome.
Now, I can do that in Snagit. I use Snagit all the time.
You can do a second timer with the
Yeah, Snagit will do it too. Is Snagit, is it a web app or is it downloaded in desktop?
Desktop app.
desktop.
Okay, so there you go. Snagit probably does even more than, I think
It's pretty powerful stuff. It just seemed, I don't know.
So this literally is how, like when I create imagery of things, if I was going to be doing a tutorial guide, I would take this, I'd copy it now.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually start a brand new book because let's say we're starting a new project, right? Blank
So you're
presentation.
not doing that in like a PDF or something or a Word document and then converting it to PDF. You did a PowerPoint first.
And then you can take your images and you can put them into Word or whatever else.
Right.
Because this gives me the ability to do layers. So like I'm going to paste in this random screenshot thing, right? And let's say I want to now insert in, come on computer, shapes, we'll go boom. I want to highlight this. So I'm going to go look here. I'm going to choose shape fill, none. I'm going to do outline. I'm going to go yellow. I think that's yellow.
Yes.
They love giving me a hard time here about that. And now I just created a highlight, right?
That's cool.
Wow.
I can go
Okay.
insert word art. This is my word art.
Yellow box.
Control copy. Now I can come in, I can do whatever font I want. I can change the color of my font. You can do all of this kind of stuff, right? You can get pretty creative with it. And you can download so many different fonts for free. Change the size of it. Boom. And you start building out these tutorial screens. And it's just like Photoshop. What's happening is you're creating your different layers on it.
I don't know why I didn't think about that. Yeah.
That
And
is
then,
totally awesome.
so
Well, for somebody, like me that writes manuals, I don't know why. I never heard you use Bill.
Well, there you go.
Well, we have these tools. I mean, if you buy the 365, Word and Excel and all that, chances are you have all this stuff.
there is not the only good program I've ever found that does a great like tutorial builder was one called Clarify It. And
Yes. Yeah.
they stopped selling it.
Yep.
Ah,
The thing was amazing. Like, luckily I still have it and still use it. I don't know why they closed it down. Well, I know why. They didn't make any money. It's hard to make money in apps. It's great because you can literally, I can do these screenshots and then I can automatically add in all the text for the different steps. It like makes it easier to format it all. And it just makes the whole process so much easier to line it up nicely on a page too, because you've got to get everything to, page breaks are so important.
right.
So,
Babe.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real quick
Well,
rendition.
thanks for
of-
showing us that. That's,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
worth it. We couldn't come up with anything to talk about tonight. And we were like even considering not recording, but I'm so glad
And
we
now we're on overtime.
I know. Oh, can I show something real quick?
Okay.
Remember I said I like to do spreadsheets for comparison?
Yes.
And I said on Facebook today, I said, oh, I need to flesh one out on the document management systems. And I went to show you something, and guess what I found?
You found one already done?
I don't even remember when
Sarah, Google Forms. I meant to say that earlier. If we do a Google Sheet with a Google form, people can easily just throw in ideas.
You did it with Smart Sheets, though. It's kind of
Right, like I had already started one in Smartsheet.
right.
So this is my idea where, I start off, but then I just get into as granular as I can, fraud and security, costs, users, pros, cons, vendors,
Awesome.
capture. So once you have it fleshed out and do one, then going to the other apps, but having a tool like this is just invaluable when you start comparing things that are similar. So, I don't know. You said do this in a Google Sheet, but
Because we can get more people. So the challenge we run into right now, like Smart Sheets,
right.
I had a trial period, right? And unless I am fully engaged and I'm with it, then I can do whatever during the trial period. But after that, I can't help anymore unless I want to pay.
Well, I pay. I mean, I've got an account. I've got.
Yeah.
I can do like 200 sheets.
But
So
if we wanted to, like, imagine if we did a post on Facebook with a survey. That survey goes to a Google form that populates to a Google Sheet, and we ask some very specific questions of what's your favorite accounts payable application, and we can do a drop down and make it to where there's choices, or we leave it blank and they tell us, and then we say, why is it? How much do you spend per month on that?
but now
So I wonder
where
if
those answers feed into this. We can't have multiple answers in a spreadsheet.
Into an
It's almost like
Excel
somebody would have to read it and then populate.
right. But I wonder if you could take your Smart Sheets and embed a Google form link in there where they can go in.
Well, I can do a smart sheet
Zapier.
form. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not a problem.
With the choices too.
Right.
But
Well, you know what? We're going to end for today.
Okay.
Lots of stuff to talk about. We're a little bit over time. So we will see you same time, same place next week.
Yeah.